guys, we went over the instructions earlier. Obey my commands at all times. Protect yourself at all times. Touch gloves. Good luck.
Jonathan Cepeda, Rockman Yusubov, telling the tape, Brian.
Well, Yusubov, he has 2 losses, so I look for the telling thing for me is he's going to get uncomfortable. His attitude is going to get lack of confidence when it gets rough in there.
And Cepeda comes right after him. He's had 7 straight knockouts. And he says, listen, I could box, I could do all that other stuff. I'm a brawler, I like to fight. And he's come out very aggressive.
He told me yesterday at the weigh-in his style is like that of Arturo Gatti. If that's the case, we'll take it.
Absolutely. Yusubov in the black trunks with the white trim.
Well, Jonathan Cepeda, yes, statistically speaking, he has huge punching power.
Oh, and he big right hand. And he hits Yusubov again.
Yusubov took that well, though. As I was saying, he's been blowing away guys, but it's all been on the Southern Circuit. Steven, as you know, most guys build a record. Nice right hand.
Another right by Cepeda.
Yusubov is taking the shots pretty well, though.
He is, but he can't afford to take shots like that too often. He won't be around long.
Absolutely. You got to slip and move.
Well, Yusubov here, let me switch sides real quick. He has 3 fights here in the United States. His record is 1-2 in those 3 fights, and he's been knocked out in the 2 losses. So he don't fare well fighting here in the States.
Yeah, and his record outside the United States, 9-0.
Cepeda said this is really the first time he's fighting in front of his family.
And that's what he don't want to do. He's swinging wild and wide. He can leave himself open. Keep in mind, Yusubov has punching power as well.
And Brian Custer, you mentioned fighting in front of his family. Well, that adds a little pressure. And when you come in with this rep as being a big puncher, you know, he's headhunting a little bit. There's a nice body shot, but there's a lot of pressure on him to score, to look good and score a spectacular knockout.
And sometimes when you look for the knockout, you get knocked out.
You ground out to the shortstop.
Cepeda undefeated, and as we said at the top, he's had 7 straight knockouts.
Now, I understand the first round, a little nervous energy. Those tight shots there, Yusubov is taking them well because he could see those coming.
Yeah, and I think the reason you could see him coming, Brian, Cepeda, heavy hands most definitely. Fast hands, I don't see a lot of speed so far. But nothing exceptional anyway.
This is an interesting first round here. And I tell you what, I was just about to say, Yusubov took some heavy leather early. But look at him. He looks comfortable and relaxed in there.
Winding down the first round.
Little elbow there.
We're in Brooklyn. This is Broadway Boxing and Brian Custer alongside Steve Farhood, Brian Adams. Couple of middleweights going 6 rounds. Jonathan Cepeda gets the warning for holding the back of the head.
Well, that's what I want to see more from Cepeda. He just threw a nice stiff jab, but he just threw one of them. I want to see more jabs from Cepeda. You know, Yusubov is just missing those short right hands.
And I want to see more punches because Cepeda is making very subtle movements with his head to slip punches, but he's not keeping his gloves up at all, and that's dangerous.
That's why I said last round. This fight is rather interesting to me.
You see, Cepeda doesn't look comfortable on the inside because every time Yusubov gets close, he's pushing him away.
Listen, Yusubov is from former Soviet Union territory.
Azerbaijan. Not too many fighters from there.
So the MO on the Russian guys are they're physically strong. They're going to be tough. Don't expect them to just fall when you hit them.
And Cepeda just going forward.
And not only that, expect the Russians to know how to fight technically.
Yusupov, you seen trying to counter Cepeda.
In the first round, he countered successfully with that right hand. This round, he's countering nicely with the left hook. So that can confuse the young guy.
And that right hand.
Oh, good right. A good left hand, and that sends Yusupov to the mat.
He caught him pulling out. You cannot pull straight back against a puncher.
His eyes look good. He doesn't look hurt.
His legs doesn't look that good.
Yeah, his legs look like he's ready to go. And Cepeda gets him up against the ropes.
But Cepeda needs to be careful,
Left
though.
hook by Cepeda. Yusupov is definitely hurt.
Cepeda needs to stay on the outside now, not smother himself, and he needs to go to the body a little bit. Soften his man up for the big finish. It's going to be a left hook. I can see it coming.
There's a nice left hook. Final seconds here of round two. Cepeda has already put Yusupov to the mat once. This is round three. And Cepeda going right to work to the body of Yusupov. Good left hooks.
But he's not that fluent with his shots. All his shots are very hard.
Now Yusupov coming back, working the left with the jab.
And there's that lack of head movement. Those punches by Yusupov, nothing on him, but that lack of head movement worries me from Cepeda.
He's too offensive-minded right now. That's the problem.
And that's what happens when you knock everybody out easily. Yeah.
Another good left hook by Cepeda.
But one thing I do like from Cepeda, if you notice here, he's always trying to be in control. Yusupov may land a shot or two, but Cepeda always wants to finish the exchange. He's always trying to end the exchange. Swelling under the right eye of Cepeda. On the inside there, both guys have decent punching power. One guy have to try to get the advantage on the inside with some body shots.
A lot of warnings for different things for Cepeda, a fighter who's been known to punch his opponents when they're down. That's happened 2 times.
Well, you talked about the lack of head movement for Cepeda, and you see Yusupov took advantage of there.
And Yusupov now cut over the left eye.
Good left hook and a right. That one backs up Yusupov. Up against the ropes. Let's see if Cepeda can finish it.
Again, Yusupov pulls out, goes straight back. He's being countered effectively by Cepeda.
I don't think Cepeda's used to this, hitting the guy this many times.
I don't think so either.
And the guy's still here.
The guy's throwing back.
Yeah. Not with much oomph, though.
A lot of
as you
action.
said, I'm sorry, Brian.
No, a lot of action in this round thus far by both guys.
But Steve, as you said in the first round, it don't have to be a lot of power on those shots or a lot of zip, but keep touching the guy. It's going to eke into his brain, you know, while I'm hitting this guy and he's still throwing.
Blood trickling down from that left eye of Yusupov.
He has cut man Danny Milano in the corner, so he's in good hands.
Good left by Cepeda.
Yusupov
And
is
Yusupov
safer.
comes right back.
Well, as we saw there at the last round, as I wanted to mention before the bell rung, I think Yusupov, it serves him well to stay close. Cepeda doesn't land clean hard shots on the inside of Yusupov. You see there, most of those shots are blocked and picked off. Yusupov gets hit clean when he pulls out, or there's distance in between them.
And he's still pulling out with his hands down.
Yeah.
So on the inside, I think he's safer.
Raging left hook by Cepeda.
You know, Cepeda, we spoke about Yusupov from the Russian background. Cepeda has some good amateur background in him as well, Steve.
Down in Florida, yeah. He didn't box until the age of 20. So he's a relatively late starter, Cepeda.
And he fought some of the best guys in amateurs at that period. He fought Jonathan Nelson, you know, the good trainer from Arkansas, Zell Nelson's son. He fought him twice, lost 2 times. He fought Danny Jacobs, the high prospect from New York, and he lost to Danny. So he's been in the ring with some guys.
Again, the raging left hook by Cepeda catches Yusupov, but then Yusupov comes right back.
See, watch there on the inside. On the inside, Yusupov is safer. Nothing really lands when they're close. Cepeda needs distance. He needs Yusupov to pull out.
Another left. And a right hook. Hits square. The side of the face of Yusupov, but he's still there.
And Brian, almost every time Yusubov's been hit flush, it's because his hands are low. He's just too tired to keep him up at this point.
Well, listen, again, boxing 101. You know, even the referee who's not your trainer tells you protect yourself at all times.
And Rakhman Yusupov, as many punches as he's taken, he's got the cut under the left eye. He's still throwing.
Now, this is good matchmaking because this is exactly the type of fights Cepeda needs at this point in his career coming up north.
Well, throughout the years, the Bell Entertainment matchmaker Joe Kiamba has done a wonderful job with matching guys. Not easy, not hard, but matching them right.
Cepeda now has a cut on his left eye that's opened up. Both of these guys going toe-to-toe. Look at the action here in the 4th round. You can see both corners working on the cuts. Cepeda over his left eye. He's got the cut over the left eye. He's got the shiner over the right, under the right.
And he got a whole jar of grease on his eye.
Yusupov has got the cut over his left eye. And here comes Cepeda right after it. And Yusupov says, come on, bring it.
I don't think Yusupov know any better. That's the problem.
Well, I talked last round about Yusupov being too tired to keep his gloves up. Hey, let's not forget, Cepeda's not used to going this long. He's only been 6 rounds once. This is the 2nd longest fight of his career.
Cepeda working the body to the left. That would hurt Yusupov. And that's it.
Ladies and gentlemen, your referee in charge, Harvey Dock, calls a halt to this contest. The official time of the stoppage, 31 seconds into round number 5. Your winner by TKO victory and still undefeated, Jonathan El Conquistador Cepeda.